This chant comprising of magical sounds. This chant comprising of that lie in the future, unseen.
Obstacles unseen.
Shreem, Hreem, Kleem, Klaum, Gang, Ganapataye, Vara, Varada, Sarvajaname, Vasamanaya, Swaha. Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadurabhujam Prasannavadanam Jayed Sarva Vignopashyantaye. Shreem, Hreem, Kleem, Klaum, Gam, Ganapataye, Vara, Varada, Sarvajaname, Vasamanaya, Swaha. Ganesha is an elephant-headed god. His energy dissolves obstacles of all kinds. Listen to the mantras and dissolve all obstacles. Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadurabhujam Prasannavadanam Jayed Sarva Vignopashyantaye. This chant comprising of magical sounds will dissolve obstacles सर्वजनमे वसमानाय स्वाहा शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं Shreem, Hreem, Kleem, Klaum, Gang, Ganapataye, Vara, Varada, Sarvajaname, Vasamanaya, Swaha. शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये Shreem, Hreem, Kleem, Klaum, Gam, Ganapataye, Vara, Varada, Sarvajaname, Vasamanaya, Swaha. Ganesha is an elephant-headed god. His energy dissolves obstacles of all kinds. Listen to the mantras and dissolve all obstacles. Shuklam-bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadurabhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayeत् Sarvavighnopashyantaye. This chant comprising of magical sounds will dissolve obstacles that lie in the future unseen.
Obstacles unseen.
Shreem, Hreem, Kleem, Klaum, Gam, Ganapataye, Vara, Varada, Sarvajaname, Vasamanaya, Swaha. Shuklambaradaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadurabhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayeत् Sarvavighnopashyantaye. ह्रीं क्लीं क्लौं गं गणपतये वरद सर्वजनमे वसमानाय स्वाहा। शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। Shri सर्वजनमे वसमानाय स्वाहा। Ganesha is an elephant-headed god. His energy dissolves obstacles of all kinds. Listen to the mantras and dissolve all obstacles. Shuklam bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadurabhujam Prasannavadanam Shri Hri Kli Klaum Gang Ganapataye Varada Sarvajaname Vasamanaya Swaha. Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam चतुर्भुजम् प्रसन्नवदनम् ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं क्लौं गं गणपतये वद वरद सर्वजनमे वसमानाय स्वाहा.
To today's workshop webinar. It is about Brzee Day. So why are we talking about Brzee Day and what is it? What we'll share today on this webinar are three things. One, what are the latest revelations that Dr. Pillai has been sharing about Brzee? Two, the three ways you can keep Brzee in your consciousness all day long. And three, what is Global Brzee Day? So that's what we'll cover. So most of you know by now what Shreem Brzee is. Mantra has been cycling the globe for many years now. Millions of people are using it. So many testimonials of people being able to manifest cars and homes and sheer happiness, right, which is priceless. And recently, Dr. Pillai has been talking more about Brzee, the second component of the mantra. Some of you have asked, well, what about Shreem Brzee? Can I still use Shreem Brzee? How does this all work? Well, I asked Dr. Pillai on your behalf, and he said, of course, continue to use Shreem Brzee, Brzee, either or both. So it's all good. But what he's doing right now is honing in on that second part of the mantra so that we get more benefit from it. It's like taking it apart, looking more deeply, and allowing us to be more empowered by this other part of the mantra because it's new. It's been newly revealed in this lifetime to Dr. Pillai. Shreem, on the other hand, has been around for God knows how long, right? It is the seed sound for Goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance. It is widely known, right? So Shreem has been in the consciousness, has been on the planet for likely thousands of years. Brzee, on the other hand, was revealed to Dr. Pillai in the late 90s. So, speaking of comparing, we're pretty new in the world of Brzee. And so that is why he wants to put some more focus on that, some more energy behind it, some more empowerment behind it, because it is so unique and it is so powerful. So we can use it by itself or with Shreem Brzee. So what's new about Brzee that Dr. Pillai has revealed? Recently, he said that it is the energy of the Holy Trinity. So this sacred sound Brzee, which was given to him by the saint Vishwamitra. Dr. Pillai calls him the most compassionate being in the whole world. This being, Vishwamitra, wanted to save his people from hunger and poverty, but he couldn't. He was a king, but he didn't have enough money even in his own kingdom to give to all of his people so that they would be without suffering from financial constraints. So he went within to figure out, how can I do this? How can I do this for more people? How can I help save the world from scarcity and poverty and the pain that comes with that? I mean, lack of money isn't just lack of money. It comes with the inability to get proper health care, the inability to get healthy food, the inability to perhaps even have healthy relationships because the strain can create so much stress on our human interactions. So lack of money isn't just surface level. It goes to many other levels of our consciousness. And that is what Brzee can do. Brzee can root out that scarcity so that we may have abundance in our life in all areas. So Dr. Pillai revealed recently that this sound is the sacred sound for the Holy Trinity. And what is the Trinity? In the Hindu archetypes, Dattatreya signifies the coming together of the creator, the sustainer, and the destroyer archetypes. And so if we break that down, what can that give us? First of all, those three components are the formula for miracles, right? If we have a fully integrated energy, consciousness, vibration of those three things, anything is possible. So those three things: one, the creation, the creative energy, the creative power, both male and female, right? So that gives us the ability to manifest, create new projects, have new ideas, make money, be able to have arts, entertainment, intelligence, a creative force in our life, sustaining our life. So that's a creative factor. Then we have the sustainer or the maintainer. And that is what we need to live on the earth plane. So what do we need? We need relationships, we need good health, we live in a body, we need shelter, we need food, we need pleasure, right? All of those things that sustain our existence on the earth. And that is also comes with protection, life force, purity, beauty, right? All the things we like to have along the way on this path. Then there's the third component, with is destruction. Now that may sound a little scary, but think about it in terms of destroying that which separates you from God. Destroying that which is no longer serving your highest purpose. Destroying that which creates obstacles in your way to success. Right? So destruction can be a very useful tool when used properly and in a positive manner. Right? So what does that look like? That can look like three components inside of the destruction phase are the ego. The ego separates us from God. The ego has us, there's many positive aspects of the ego, and the negative aspects of the ego have us think we're better or separate from the divine. Then there's the karma, right? It can destroy your karma. Your karma, it keeps you in this cycle of repetitive thoughts that keep you trapped in your current existence. If you want to know what your karma is, look around. What kind of car do you drive? What kind of house do you live in? What relationships do you have? Do you want to change those? That's your karma. The law of cause and effect. Then you can also destroy your maya. Maya means illusion, or that which is perceived. And Dr. Pillai recently has been talking about illusion, that we all have illusion. Right? The life we have is an illusion, a persistent one, as Albert Einstein said. And we can create a different one. So knowing that we're seeing the world through this veil and creating this perception of the world we're living in, and the ability to destroy that in order to create a better one. Okay, so that's a little bit about these three factors, these three forces that come with Brzee, right? You thought Brzee was just a prosperity mantra, but no. You can also block negativity, block negative thoughts. Because think about it, these three factors together are a force field that can do anything. So with Brzee, you can shield yourself. Remember the protection aspect of the sustenance phase. You can protect yourself from negativity. You can clear out, destroy negative thoughts, to clear out old karma. You can create new, right? You're birthing a new self, a new consciousness, new ideas, new ways you want to be, all with the power of Brzee. So it's a very potent little mantra. So it's quite useful for us to get to know it. So how do you get to know Brzee even better? Well, hopefully by now you have downloaded a couple audios that we are giving out for free. There's one meditation of implanting Brzee in the third eye, and there's a mantra loop. So if you haven't already, I believe there's a link on this page. You can go ahead and get it. I definitely want you to do that. Please do that. They're in Dr. Pillai's voice, and it's very important that you listened in his voice because this mantra was revealed specifically to him. So he has and carries that empowerment, that energy behind it. It's very important to get and receive a mantra from a master, from his lineage. And so just by hearing his voice, by downloading these audios, you're receiving the mantra from a master. So you don't have to travel to India or go to some extensive ways to receive anymore, right? Technology has given us these blessings. So I said I would share 3 tips that would help you to connect with and use Brzee on a daily basis. Okay, so by now in the webinar, we've gone through what is Brzee, what are the latest revelations of Brzee, what have Dr. Pillai been talking about, okay? This Trinity energy, the destruction of negativity, the creative force, the prosperity, okay? So Brzee is so compatible with everything that we need. And now let's move into the how do we use it, right? Oh, we know it's great. Now what? Now we have 3 tips, at least 3. There's many more, but I'm going to just boil it down to 3. 1, start and stop your day with Brzee. Okay, and this is where you can take some notes. Start and stop your day with Brzee. What does that look like? You wake up, you hit your snooze alarm, right? You lay in bed for another 5 minutes. As you're laying in bed, instead of just getting anxiety about what you have to do when you get out of this bed or what the day looks like, now just start chanting Brzee, okay? So you hit your snooze, you're laying in bed, you got 5 minutes. Just chant Brzee over and over and over. And as you're chanting Brzee, just witness what is happening. Are you feeling lighter, more positive, right? Allow the sound to go deep into your consciousness. And you don't have to focus on anything. I mean, you just woke up, right? Don't worry, just chant Brzee. Just chant Brzee for that 5 minutes before you get out of bed. Now you get up, you go about your day, and then at the end of your day, ending your day with Brzee. So you get back into bed. What happens when you lay there? Oh, you might be thinking about, oh my gosh, what I have to do tomorrow, what went wrong today? Like, our mind is a crazy negative machine that tries to keep us in this cycle, right? So Brzee will stop that cycle. Brzee helps to root out those thoughts that are creating anxiety, creating stress, creating negativity, creating delusional thoughts that you're not good enough, that you can't do it. Those are incorrect thoughts. But the mind is giving them to you. And we want to stop the mind from giving them to you, and Brzee can do that. So at the end of the day, when you're lying in bed, just chanting. It doesn't have to be in any part of the body. You're just relaxing. You can even have it just feel flowing through your entire body, either from head to foot or from foot to head. You can start at your heart, whatever. There's no rules. Just allow Brzee to peacefully root out whatever may have been stressful that day and ease you peacefully into your sleep that night. Okay, so tip number 1, starting and stopping your day with Brzee. Tip number 2, engage with Brzee throughout the day by playing the mantra. So as I said, it's very powerful to hear this sound in Dr. Pillai's voice. It is empowered, right? It is giving you that extra emphasis of his energy that he's put into it. He was the one chosen by this emperor turned saint Vishwamitra, right? And Dr. Pillai is also had additional readings that said that he is Brzee, right? Like he is vibrating with Brzee. He is vibrating with the Trinity. So we want to tap into that. I see spiritual masters, gurus, as beings who have progressed, right? They've spent more lifetimes than me. They've gotten farther. They're able to hold more light and more energy. So when we attune ourselves with a being who has more light, more experience, more energy, more enlightenment, then we receive it as well, right? It's like going to the best teacher at university. You're going to absorb something from them, even in their presence, as well as mentally. But with a spiritual teacher, it's mostly a transmission. Of course, they will teach us stuff, will occupy our mind, but they will also help to transmit the energy that they're holding to us. And so that's the benefits, like plugging into this beautiful light network that they've created. So the importance of hearing Dr. Pillai's voice, chanting Brzee, and you want to do that every day if possible. Some easy tips on how to do that. Just listening to the meditation at lunch hour for a few minutes, okay? Just go to your car or walk around the building, whatever it takes, right? To just take a few minutes to yourself, listen to Brzee, reset your mood. Maybe some things have gone wrong, right? You want to really boost up your energy, your self-esteem, your creativity, your focus. Okay, so Brzee at lunch. And then you can put the audio on, just the repetitive mantra loop, anytime in the background. So if you're, washing dishes or driving home or to work, or whatever it is you're doing, that where you can just have some background going on. So engaging throughout the day is tip number 2. Tip number 3, actively block negative thoughts. I would like for you to begin the practice of noticing when you're having a negative thought. Your body will tell you, you'll tense up, right? You may have certain reactions that you may notice about yourself if you don't start to notice them, right? So I would like for you to get aware of the thoughts that come up. And as they come, instead of just writing that out unconsciously, Brzee it out, right? So we've come up with this term, to Brzee it out. So when the negative thoughts comes, oh, I'm getting jealous of this person, or I'm getting angry at this person, or I'm getting upset that this isn't going my way, right? Like whatever is happening, recognize, oh, I am upset right now. Why am I upset? Well, it's not going the way I wanted it to go. Can I do anything about it? Do I need to? Brzee. Brzee, 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 Brzee. And you could do it however you are able to in that moment, right? Nothing is perfect. There are no hard and fast rules. But when you come across some negative thoughts that are disturbing your peace of mind, disturbing your creativity, disturbing your life force, just stop and chant Brzee. Specifically in this case, you can do it in the third eye, because you'll be hopefully a little more engaged. I'd like for you to be a little more engaged right now because you're actively inside of a reaction, a negative reaction. And so if you engage a bit more, you can disconnect or disengage from that reaction. So Brzee in the third eye. Okay? So those are your 3 tips. Start and end your day with Brzee. Engage and play the meditation and the mantra loop throughout the day whenever it's possible, and actively Brzee out any negative thoughts. Great. So now, last part of our time together. What is Global Brzee Day? First of all, it's a divine occurrence. Dr. Pillai received a reading from a saint, and in that reading it said, Brzee can change the world. Because of all the reasons I just said. The negativity that can be rooted out of people's consciousness. The scarcity that can be relieved from us. This is untrue, right? We are divine beings living in a world surrounded by the limitations the mind and body have created. But Brzee can help us out of that. Brzee can change the world, and it can only change the world if more people are doing it. If 10 people are chanting Brzee, it'll make a lot less of an impact than if 10 million people are chanting Brzee, right? So the whole point of the Brzee Day on November 18th is to get more people across the globe chanting Brzee. Why? Because we selfishly want a better world, right? Not just for ourselves, but for others. But for ourselves. Because when the consciousness of the planet raises such, the vibration of the planet raises such, negative thoughts can't exist inside of that high state. If you've ever been in a really high meditation, you know, right? Like it's harder to pull down those negative thoughts. Now imagine the entire planet vibrating with that really high state. No terrorist could exist inside of that high vibration, right? So what can we do to change the world? The world that is in kind of an upheaval right now, like a lot of eruption is going on. We can actively do our part by meditating. It's not passive at all. It is an act of rebellion. It's an act of a revolution for love, peace, and prosperity for the entire planet. And you can do that. You can do that. Because anyone can do that because it's free. And it takes 20 minutes a day, right? If all you did was meditate on Brzee or Shri Brzee for 20 minutes a day, you can change the planet. And you told all your friends to do it, right? Like you got all the people you know to also be actively participating in this global revolution for love, peace, and prosperity. So that's the purpose of Global Brzee Day. And I'm so excited because with this, we can make a difference. If you feel like it's hopeless, if you feel like you can't do anything, you can. We all can. We have that power. The divine has given us that power. I get emotional just thinking about it, like how powerful we are, and when we come together, how impactful we can be. It's off the charts. We just got to organize ourselves in order to do that. We have to organize ourselves in order to do that. And how do we do that? We do that together. Because if everyone just goes back to their lives and forgets or gets caught up in raising children and caring for your life and your well-being, which I totally get, it happens, then we'll forget our path. But if we stick together and keep reminding each other of what's important and why we're here, and that a day can't go by without us participating in the change for global peace and prosperity, right? That's how we make the difference. We have to be in community, and we have to participate together. We have to create a collective consciousness of high vibration, of peace, of prosperity, of abundance, of love, right? That's what we're here for. What was I saying? So I got a little caught up there. So yeah, so global peace and prosperity, Brzee Day. Dr. Pillai will be delivering he's called it a mini seminar. So a teaching, and I'm assuming a meditation, hopefully. You never know what he's going to do. People are always like, what's he going to say? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know until you hear it. There's nothing planned, because he's a divine channel. He gets messages and he does as God tells him. He's obedient, obediently surrendered to God, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we'll know, as you do, real time, as this is aired live, next November 18th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And also that day, we will be hosting I believe it's going to be a 2-hour fire prayer ritual. It's a ceremony where there'll be several priests chanting Om Brzee Swaha. So Om, the primordial sound of all things, all creation. Brzee, I just told you all about Brzee. And Swaha is what you call, it's another word for I call upon you, or I invoke you, right? So calling upon, Brzee. And then they put stuff into the fire. They put stuff into the fire that pleases the goddess, right? The goddess of prosperity, purity, love, beauty, joy. That goddess, goddess Lakshmi. So they'll be putting sacred items into the fire that pleases the goddess. We'll be chanting Brzee. There'll be several priests so that it'll be magnified. Every one of them chanting Om Brzee Swaha is multiplied by however many they'll be there. I don't know if it's going to be 4 or 8 or something. And then for a 2-hour period or about that. So we'll be streaming that live. So you can definitely, I'm not sure what time it is yet. We'll definitely let you know. And I encourage you to tune into that if you can, to at least listen and make your prayers as they are chanting. There'll be an opportunity to sponsor that too, so that you can kind of slip in a little deeper to the energy of that fire prayer that is going to be happening, that fire lab. So, yes, if you haven't already downloaded your audio, please do that on this page. Also, I encourage you to do your part on spreading the word of Global Brzee Day for all the reasons I just said. It is our duty to help create a prosperous, more abundant, more peaceful, more loving planet, right? Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your consciousness, your contribution, who you are. You are love and divinity incarnate. And I look forward to seeing you next week on November 18th. Talk to you soon. Namaste. Hello, everyone. This is Jay Radha, and I hope you can hear me. That was pre-recorded because I am in India and the internet connection is not good, and I'm also blessed to be with Dr. Pillai on the Muruga immersion trip. So, but I want to at least call in, and this is working, thankfully, to see if you have any questions that I can answer after you've watched that presentation. All right, so I'm looking at the chat now. Someone's saying I've chanted Shri Brzee for months, chanted it in my mind out loud in the home of the car.
I really did this mantra with faith and expected it for a very long time, and nothing has changed in my life. That's interesting because we just recently, Dr. Pillai has said, people have chanted for, hold on a sec, sorry. People have chanted and manifested within days or weeks, and some people have chanted and nothing has happened. So we have to kind of take a step back, and instead of saying nothing has happened, we don't know what would have been the path if we weren't doing the mantra. If you weren't doing these practices, perhaps things could have been worse, right? We don't know that. But what, there's an image that says we'll be starting soon. Okay, so so the idea is that to jump to the conclusion that nothing has happened is something we actually don't know we don't have that the all-knowingness to know if that's true. Is we're making that assumption because we thought something else would happen. We had an expectation that wasn't met. So I invite you to let go of the grips of the illusion that you're holding on to, that there is nothing. And to specifically count every single day of what miracle is occurring to you. Did you get out of bed and walk today? That's a miracle. Did you have any sense of joy or peace in your heart? Did you connect with God in some way? Being able to have the grace to chant the mantra is a blessing. There are millions of people who don't have the karma to even do that. So I know it's tough when we, I know it's tough when we don't see results what we want to see, but we have to also be optimistic about what is happening. Okay, so that's my advice to you. I understand, I get it, it's tough. I've been in those situations too, but I've also had to see, like, what would my life be like if I didn't have done that? What mistakes would I have made? What debt would I have gotten into? Or accidents, or bad choices, right? You do have God's grace. You just don't have the results that you want to see just yet. So my advice to you is don't give up. We never know how close we are for the seed to be sprouting. Okay? All right. Hi, is there Diksha into this mantra? Also, what do we chant? Shrim Brzee or Om Shrim Brzee Swaha? So Dr. Pillai next week on November 18th will be giving the blessings into this mantra. So you want to join in then. If you don't join live, you can watch it. You can watch the replay. And then do we chant Shrim Brzee or Om Shrim Brzee? Just, you can chant Shrim Brzee or Brzee. So either one is fine. You don't need to chant Om Shrim Brzee Swaha. The priests are doing that because that is customary. You always have to say Swaha when you're putting something into the fire because it's calling on the gods to come. So you can use that, but you don't need to. Dr. Pillai is not telling us to do that. He's telling the priests to do that when they invoke the Brzee into the fire. Please, could we chant with another mantra together? No. Clear answer, right? Dr. Pillai has said, don't create your own mantras. Stick with what he's given. If you're going to chant clean, chant clean. If you're going to chant Shrim Brzee, chant Shrim Brzee. If you're going to chant Om Gam, chant Om Gam. Unless the mantra is already composed, which there are some mantras that do include many of these seed sounds, you're welcome to use those, but don't start putting them together on your own. So what I mean specifically is to chant, let's say 108 claims, and then 108 Shrim Brzees, right? So you just do them at different times. Okay, let's see other questions. Is it better to listen to the mantra in Dr. Pillai's voice? Yes, and I did address this in the webinar. It's important to listen in his voice. The difference between you chanting it in your own voice is fine. Like, so that's fine. You can definitely do that, of course. And you also want to listen to in his voice because he's carrying a certain energy, a certain power, empowerment, the lineage of the sound, Brzee specifically. So you want to receive that. And you don't have to do it all the time if you don't, if that's not working for you. But put it on I like to put it on as much as possible. Sometimes it's distracting if I'm trying to work, so I put it really, really, really low, almost subliminal levels. So you'll still get the benefit of that vibration happening. And because that initiation, the initiation into a mantra comes from the guru who holds the key to that mantra. Dr. Pillai holds the key to Brzee. There's no doubt about that. And so when you get the audio in his voice, that is you're receiving. That's the diksha of it. There's other how should I say, levels of diksha. If you saw him in person, he touched your third eye and said Shri Brzee, that's going to be the ultimate, right? That's going to be a top level energy transmission. The first level energy transmission is hearing the mantra in his voice. So everyone has access to that because we give it freely to everyone around the world. You should share those audios with your friends. They're for everyone. That is the gift. That is Dr. Pillai's gift to the world. So that first level of energy transmission is hearing the mantra in his voice. I don't recommend listening to the mantra in other people's voices other than if it's entertaining. So if you want to hear someone who used Shri Brzee in a chant or a song, and it's kind of just mix things up, beautiful, that's great. But as a meditation, I would not recommend using that for your like a deepening experience of it, because everyone's voice carries an energy, an empowerment. And it's important when we are receiving that, especially in a meditative state. So you want to keep it as clean and pure as you can, and we 100% trust Dr. Pillai as the cleanest and purest energy transmission of this mantra. As we know, Lakshmi is Shri Brzee. Is Lakshmi also Brzee? Very good question. So in the past, Dr. Pillai has said that Brzee also carries the energy of Lakshmi, and that Lakshmi is Shri Brzee. But then he also said Brzee is the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, which I explained today. So do you see the subtle difference? There's Brzee is carrying Lakshmi. Brzee is also carrying the Trinity. So I don't think we can explicitly say that Brzee and Lakshmi are one and the same, because Brzee also has the Trinity in it. So it is in effect more carrying more power. Shreem is very specific to Lakshmi, very specific to her energy, her archetype. Archetypes are nothing but a set of qualities that being holds, qualities and energy, right? And then Brzee is carrying more of that, more a variety, I should say, and I explained in the webinar. So I hope that answers your question. Does Brzee also help with health issues? Yes. Yes, because Brzee can help remove scarcity. You have some lack in the body, lack of wellness that is causing a dis-ease. Dis-ease, there's no ease, right? So you have a lack of ease, a lack of wellness, well-being. Brzee can Brzee out, clear out the dis portion, so yes. And what you'll want to do when you use the mantra is focus in on that area. So if you have a particular health problem, focus in where it is, make a prayer, Dr. Pillai, Vishwamitra, Dattatreya, Lakshmi, and ask them to penetrate this health problem and dissipate the accumulation of negative energy, of negative force there. Does turmeric help keep Brzee in our minds? Yes, Dr. Pillai once said, if you want to take a Shri Brzee pill, you'll get it into your blood, and that's turmeric. And it's more specifically turmeric that has been energized with the mantra Shri Brzee. And you can energize it yourself, but I think he gave something like 1,008 chanting. over either pills or turmeric that's like kitchen grade, or Nabu Botanicals, one of Dr. Pillai's companies, does already energize the herb in Dr. Pillai's voice with Shreem Brzee. So that's the easiest, most effective way to get Shreem Brzee using turmeric into the body. What chakra does this mantra affect? The navel center. And this person, Monique, is saying, I feel a definitive vibration in my, I think you meant head, head and crown chakra. So when the Dr. Pillai said that Shreem Brzee and the goddess, specifically Lakshmi, is very powerful in the navel chakra for this mantra. But that doesn't mean the other ones won't be affected, because as we clear lower chakras, guess what? That energy, that kundalini that is at the base of your spine, gets to rise up through them more effectively, more clearly. So if we're stuck, if our energy is stuck in the Muladhara or the second chakra, where the second chakra is our sex chakra, and basically that's where all of our human desires, our addictions, very base level activities and thoughts. If you're just stuck there and that's what you're doing and thinking about most of the time, then guess what? The energy's not coming up. But if you use a mantra to clear that out, where's the energy going to go? It's going to go up, because the kundalini has to rise. It has to go from the base of the spine up through the Sushumna, the middle of your spine, the energy center, through the middle of your spine, up through the top of your head. So the clearer those chakras are, the easier the energy will be able to move itself up through, and then you'll start feeling it in the head and the crown chakra, and that's really fun, right? And you probably have felt that. So you'll definitely get that effect. Nishal said, I just saw Karpasamy channeling event that was on the Muruga Immersion live webcast, and for some reason I got tears in my eyes that I wasn't there. Either way, very grateful. How do I contribute to the upcoming Om Brzee Swaha Homa? If you got tears in your eyes out of sadness that you weren't there, we will have a India trip if you are able to make it in late January. So it's January 30th through February 10th. And I think someone can put the link down there, but that would be an opportunity to come here and have that experience. We most likely will do the same thing. And let's face it, Dr. Pillai will most likely show up for at least one day. That's what I think, and that's what I keep asking him. So even though we're not guaranteeing it, that's my prediction, is at least one. I'm going to ask him for 2 days and see if we can get that done. So it'll be extraordinary. And the price is like $2,000 less than it was last year, because he is not committing to the entire retreat. So, and then the second question is, how do I contribute to the upcoming Homa, the Fire Lab? You know what? This was divinely inspired, and we will be posting a link to that soon this week, within the next 2 days, and you'll be able to sponsor it. So a guest here, I don't have a name, but they say, gratitude for your work. We have been dabbling with your techniques. They have produced fruit. That makes me so happy. That is the purpose of our existence, is to pass on these techniques to you from Dr. Pillai and have you have results. That's my, literally my daily prayer, that all of Baba's people have miracles and see results from the use of these techniques, and that there are more of you. We want there to be more people changing the world, more people using these techniques. This person said, thank you for your answer. I will go back to my daily practice of Shreem Brzee. I'm very relieved to learn that Shreem Brzee can deal with negative thoughts and anxiety. Good to know. Yes, definitely. Yes, we're going to make the recording available. I understand there was a disconnect in the sound and visual that you saw. So the original video will be uploaded to YouTube, I think today, and you can watch the replay. It looked a little funky on my end too. Although it is streaming from the US, not even from me. Can we do a whole mala 108 repetitions, or just 9 or 55 times? You should definitely do a whole mala. Definitely. I mean, it's a short mantra. Stream Brzee 108 times takes you like what, a couple minutes? Come on. Patricia said, Brzee, Brzee, morning and evening. Yes, yes, yes. I have chanted for a month now and have overcome blocks to my success and prosperity. Very significant blocks. 3 in particular. Specifically, my energy has been abundant. This has been the case since as far as I can remember. I completed a project that I have been blocked to have completing for 10 years. I have started another project which I know will be infinitely abundant. My external life in the sense of my prosperity has not changed, but everything internally has and is changing. This is so important. Thank you so much. I don't see your name, but thank you so much for saying that, because our inner is our outer, right? And like I said in the webinar, you can't put a price tag on happiness. So many people in the program, we have had 2 6-month programs so far on Stream Brzee. And by far, people are saying the most significant changes they're seeing is their happiness, their attitude, their positivity. And then that begins to reflect in their life and in their world. But we also have to give it a minute to catch up, right? So our inner creates our outer. And if you're happier, and you can only manifest with the emotion of joy, right? You can't manifest if you're just negative, doubtful, fearful, full of anxiety and stress. That you'll just manifest more of that. So every time that comes on, just remember, let me Brzee right now, because I can't afford, literally and figuratively, to stay in this mindset. You cannot afford it. It will only produce more of itself. If you want to have it make a difference, you must use Brzee or Stream Brzee. And it can shift you. It'll shift you quicker with the more faith you have. If you say it with 50% faith, you'll get probably less than 50% results. If you're just like, I'm going to give this a try, let's see. I encourage you, if it's a let's give it a try, then please do it, because that's better than not doing it. But if you have a connection to this mantra and you just love the mantra, then it becomes easy, and with ease and pleasure, joy, then you can manifest more freely. So it's the inner that creates this outer space. So thank you for saying that. There's someone saying, I can't get the downloads, and this is the first time I've found this. Maybe you can post your email, or actually write to office@email.com, office, OFFICE, @PilaiCenter.com, and they can help you. But you should be able to click this link down below that says free Brzee mantra and meditation. And then it'll go to an email and it'll download a folder. Now it's not a single file, it's an actual folder. That tripped me up a little bit too. I was looking for a file. It's a zip folder. Yeah, so anyone having trouble, go ahead and write to office@PilaiCenter.com. Oops. Someone's saying I have found great recordings of Stream Brzee on YouTube, and I'm having deep positive experiences with these recordings. Is it the mantra itself that has the power, or is it the voice of Dr. Pillai? It's both, right? So the magic combination is both of them, Stream Brzee and Dr. Pillai's voice. But if you're listening to something that really inspires you and is beautiful, and it's not Dr. Pillai's voice, I'm not saying don't listen to that. I'm just saying when you go into a deeper meditation, I would suggest using Dr. Pillai's voice so he can really integrate more on your cell level. But if you are enjoying Stream Brzee and with music and on someone else's voice, it's okay to go ahead and enjoy that. Can you talk about the Trinity that is Brzee? Well, I covered it pretty in depth in the webinar. So if there's a specific question you have, please post that. Is there any particular kind of crystal that we can wear to enhance Brzee? I asked Dr. Pillai what mala we should use and what crystal for a Stream Brzee, and he said it would be rose quartz. So we made several different Stream Brzee malas that have been energized at Stream Brzee in fire labs in India. I wish I could be on video because I'm actually wearing mine right now, and it's called the fancy one. And it's cut stone, and it's just gorgeous. It also has citrine in it, and some citrine is for abundance, and then garnet for sun abundance, and jade for prosperity. So there you have it. Question from YouTube: how to break black magic? Well, that's a loaded question because there's a lot of options, particularly the more fierce goddesses, Chandi, Kali, Pratingare. If you ever see, like, and if you, a good option is to order a fire lab for one of those goddesses and have it performed individually. But they can be very expensive. So an alternative option is to order it when we have group fire labs of those goddesses, which does not happen that often. So whenever you see a group Chandi or Pratingare, you should jump on it because it's usually very reasonably priced, like $50. Because normally those rituals are, the Chandi I think is $900 and the Pratingare I think is like $1,900 because it's a very elaborate ceremony. There's a lot of things being offered into the fire for the goddess, and it's very, very powerful. So that's one way to do it. I wouldn't say Stream Brzee is like your black magic breaker. I don't know what Mookie's is, to be honest with you. You should use a mala that has 108 or beads or 54 and go around twice. Does Stream Brzee help with spiritual progress? I'm happy about the material gains, but equally interested in the ways it helps with self-realization. Yes, and it also has to do with your love and connection to and with that mantra. Because the more you chant it, the more you're vibrating with Stream Brzee. There's been a couple of the meditations we did in the past 2 programs where Dr. Pillai gave this meditation and he's integrating Stream Brzee into the cells of the body. And at the end, he's like, you are Stream Brzee, you are Stream Brzee. So when you are becoming Stream Brzee, who is the goddess and the Trinity, right? And that we know these secrets of the mantra holding energy of the archetype. I'll say that again. The mantra is holding the energy of the archetype. The archetype is this being who can help us. There's your spiritual connection. If you're becoming more and more divine, essentially, becoming more and more connected to your own inner archetype, then your spiritual awakening will happen from there. So the answer is yes. And experiment with that. Experiment with connecting on a heart level, a personal level with the goddess behind Stream Brzee. And she will help you. She can't resist you, as a matter of fact. Does Stream Brzee mantra help with planets in Mula Nakshatra, Nitri goddess, or misfortune? Not so much specifically. There are other mantras that deal with planetary issues. And I would, if you want to, it's kind of like the special, like Stream Brzee isn't specialized in that, for example. I would go to the specialist, right? The different archetypes are specialists in different things. But it doesn't hurt, right? Chanting Stream Brzee is only going to help it'll help all areas of your life. It'll just help certain areas more. So removing the scarcity in your consciousness in different areas such as health and relationships and money and spirituality, that will help. But specifically, if you want to go, it's kind of like going to a specialist doctor. Like, I really have a foot problem, so I can go to my general doctor and he or she is going to take a look and give me some information on that foot. But then if there's something really deep inside that foot, I should go to a specialist. Good, Alan. I'm glad to hear that you are feeling this is right on time guidance for you. So glad you can make it. Is the mantra Shrim Brzee itself has the power, or is it? Okay, so I already answered that one, which is both, right? So the mantra itself is vibrating with the sounds, sacred sounds, and anyone chanting it will have that level, that will be releasing the power of that sound. We'll be reproducing the vibration. But when Dr. Pillai chants it, it has an added benefit that he's the keeper of Brzee, right? It was passed on to him. So there's more empowerment behind it. Where can we see the Karpasamy channeling event? That was on the Muruga Immersion online program. If someone can post the link there, you can still join that. Tomorrow is the third day, so there'll be lots of stuff happening as well. And then you have access to all the replays. It's basically the live event that's occurring. That's where I am. All right, I'm just seeing, I'm a little behind on the chat. Timing is key. Early in morning between 2 and 5 a.m. for better connections. Yes, Dr. Pillai mentions between 3 and 5 or 3 and 6 a.m. for if you really want to go for it, waking up at 3 a.m. and doing your chanting and connecting with the goddess. You have it's a special time from Maharti where you have a special window where the gods are more accessible. Okay, someone's asked, Catherine is asking, I heard there are times one should not chant Shrim Brzee. Feels complicated. No, please don't complicate anything. And please don't listen to anyone who's complicating things. Dr. Pillai has said there are no hard and fast rules. There are suggestions on when to do certain things in order for them to be more effective. But there is no bad time to chant Shrim Brzee. I promise you that. And I'll say it again. There is no bad time to chant Shrim Brzee. There are certain times you want to avoid doing very important things, and that gets into a whole another level of education around time energies. We're not going to get into that. Although we do teach on it on Sutrita has free calls called Power Time Practice every Saturday, and that's a really great thing. And those are totally free. A great thing to join and learn more about. But yeah, you can learn more about the time energies, but no, there are no bad times. Oh, good. So someone found it in their email. It's a folder. When you download those files, it's not just an audio, it's a folder of audios, a zip file. Are there any precautions to chant the Brzee mantra, a limit to the number of chants we can do in one sitting? No, there are no, this is a great question because there are, in spirituality and in dealing with certain mantras and certain archetypes, there are some things that, you have to be careful with, especially the fierce gods. Kali, even Karpasamy, he's a god of justice and he won't hesitate to inflict justice upon you, even if you're praying to him, because he's the god of justice. So if you've done something wrong, he'll correct you for it. But there's no nothing to be warned about. It's all benefic within Brzee. Nothing. So yeah. So to answer your question, no precautions to chanting, no bad times to chant, and no limit to when how many numbers you can chant in a sitting. Yeah, I see someone posted the link to the Hayagriva course for the person who was looking for that. Steve? Yes, Dr. Pillai's Brzee is on YouTube, the best one. My favorite Brzee is the one with music behind it. You have to hear that. I think you actually might get it in your downloads. I'm not sure, but it's beautiful. Someone says, I have a lifelong practice of another chant, which I do early in the morning and late at night. Will stream Brzee still be effective for me done at different times? Yes. So many of you have other chants or even other religions. And, not that what Dr. Ply does is a religion, it's spiritual practices, but that it doesn't need to conflict with anything else you do. Unless you're doing black magic, then you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do black magic, right? But if you have a practice that you're already doing and you're happy with it, please keep doing that, and then incorporate stream Brzee or Brzee into your day, however works best for you. The best times, remember I said there's no bad times, but the best times to do stream Brzee or Brzee is during Venus Hora or Fridays, because that is the day for Lakshmi, the blessings. Friday is the day for Lakshmi all day, and then Venus Hora, and you can find out how to do that by downloading the AstroVed Hora Watch app. If you're new and that makes no sense to you, don't worry. We could give you more information about that. But yeah, so to answer your question, yes, do it at any other time during the day. Do the energized items like 5-metal, Veil, or Lakshmi, do I lose their energy over a period of time? No, not really, unless maybe you put it in a box in the attic and leave it there for 5 years, right? Like at some point, it's going to lose its mojo if you totally ignore it, right? The God won't stay in it, Dr. Ply says. But once you get it, and even if you have it on your altar and you're not really worshiping it, that's okay. It's better to make offerings to it. It's better to keep it energized, because then you'll have it really keep that vibration going. Miriam said, last night Dr. Ply talked about dry coconuts being good for absorbing bad karma. Oh, so Miriam, you are in the program. Is this just a regular brown coconut with no liquid inside, or is it another type? Yes, it's a brown coconut with no liquid. Although here in India, they take the outside coating off. I don't know how they do this, but the inside, they don't break it. It's just dried up, not rotten. And then the outside coating, that, the coconut shell, is not there any longer. But if you don't have access to that, you can just use a dried coconut. I believe that should be okay. Or we're going to send an update to the folks who are in the Muruga Immersion program and let you know an alternative to that. While we're chanting, excuse me, Brzee, are we giving the goddess opportunity to fulfill our purest desires? Yes, you are giving her an opportunity. And the more you offer her your love, and if you have other things to offer, like chocolate, as an offering of love, then you're giving her the opportunity to serve you back. So when we go, like your mother, if you showed up at your mother's house with a box of chocolate and some flowers, she's going to receive you with more happiness and emotion and passion than she is if you show up at her door with nothing, or maybe you're in a bad mood. The goddess is no different. She's a feminine archetype. And if you show up to her happy, excited, offering her things because you just want to be with her, because you love her so much, she's going to respond to that with more energy than if you come to her and say, I just really need, Mom, you call your mom, I just need to borrow some money, right? Versus having no expectations necessarily, but showing up. And then once you show up and she receives you with this gratitude, then you can be like, I need $1,000. And guess what? She's gonna be like, I should figure out how to get that for you. versus you call her up all angry, you show up all angry and be like, I really need $1,000. She'll probably still try to help you. My mother would. My mother would do anything, no matter how you approach her. And I'm assuming the goddess is too. But there's definitely a shift in the receptivity of the God and of humans when we approach them with our heart open and wanting to give to them, and with gratitude for who they are and what they've, even if they haven't given in the past, but if they've given in the past, gratitude for that. And if they haven't given anything yet, gratitude for what is possible. Should we be thinking about what we want to manifest while we chant, listen to Brzee, or just let our minds be filled with Brzee? That's a really good question. You could do either one. So Dr. Pillai has mentioned either option. You can start out with holding the intention of what it is you want. You can do that at the beginning and then just begin chanting. Or he said, basically, it's more effective to hold your intention and chant at the same time. So as you're chanting, you're still holding on to, what is my intention? What do I want to create? We also want to give the divine an opportunity to give us even more, perhaps, than we could have dreamed of, by saying, oh, please just please give me this, or what's best for me, or something better, right? So giving it up to God in that sense. From YouTube, if I say stream Brzee, can I assume that no worries about future? You should. You should assume no worries about future, because worrying about the future is not helping you with anything. I get that that's like a pie in the sky answer, but you've heard the quote, worrying is like asking God for something you don't want. You're thinking about you're thinking about something you don't want to happen. So why would you do that while you chant at Stream Brzee? Because Stream Brzee is going to manifest stuff for you. And we want to be the clear channel for that. So when you're chanting Stream Brzee and you're thinking about your manifestations, you want to be in a state of joy, or close as you can. And I understand it's not always easy to get there. Sometimes when I'm in a bad mood, I start chanting Stream Brzee to help me get out of it. Right? So I don't have I'm not putting my intention out right now. Let's say I'm in a foul mood. I don't want to put my intentions out there. I don't want to be creating anything right now because I'm not in a really good space. So then at that point, I chant Stream Brzee to help me get out of that space. Okay. Oh, shoot. Crystal needs me to get off of this. Sorry. We have to start the Stream Brzee call on this line. I'm sorry, folks. How do I register for Power Time Practice? We can put that in the chat. So I'm going to have to get off of Zoom and verbally so that we can join our other program call that is going on at the moment. And then we can still answer your questions in the chat. We'll just be typing. So for those of you who are in Stream Brzee Immersion, join us on that call, and then I'll be here in chat for a bit answering some questions. So thanks so much, and we will talk to you soon. Please write us, and we'll be on chat now for a few more minutes, and we'll talk to you soon. Namaste. Thank you so much.